Let's talk about something that touches all of us: fear of the unknown. It's natural to feel a bit uneasy when faced with new situations or technology. Questions like, how can this new thing be good? How can it help me? Will it replace me? Often bubbles up in our minds. But here's the thing: should these questions stop us on our journey? I say absolutely not. Instead, we should embrace change. With change brings growth, innovation, and new opportunities we never imagined possible. Today, I want to dive into why embracing the unknown can lead to incredible breakthroughs and I think personal development. What's up, everyone? This is Fit for Business with Jarod Lehn. If you could do me a favor, if you're watching this on YouTube for the very first time, and tap that subscribe button, or if you guys are listening on Spotify, go ahead and follow along as well. We appreciate you. Welcome to episode 32. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm the owner and founder of Socialtopia, a social media marketing agency based out of Monroe, New York. We've been in business for just over 6 years now, and our agency primarily partners with fitness entrepreneurs and home service-based professionals. We go about helping them elevate their brand and achieving their marketing goals. Joining us on today's episode is Daniel Engelbretson, a true pioneer in embracing AI technology. Not only does Daniel run a business that strategically helps companies leverage AI, but he also dedicates his time to teaching essential AI competencies. Welcome to the podcast, Daniel.
Hey, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. We're psyched to have you. Really appreciate you stopping by and taking some time to speak with us and give our audience some insight into some technologies and practices that some people, quite frankly, I think are still on the fence about, right? As you probably can attest to. Um, so
Absolutely.
for the for our listeners who may or may not be familiar with you, can you kind of give us some background and insight as to who you are, man?
Sure. Yeah. Well, you got into it a little bit there at the beginning, but overall, I spent, I guess, the first 10 years of my career in marketing and demand generation, and I went to school for it and kind of checked all those boxes. And about 5 years ago, maybe a little longer than that, I jumped out on my own and started my first company, which was a B2B marketing services company. And I did that for a little while, and about a year ago, I left that and got pretty heavy into artificial intelligence. And
Mm,
part of that was really driven by really my kids, to be honest, and seeing how much the world was changing and how much education was changing and just the impact that AI was having on my own business and my clients'
mm.
business, and thinking, wow, I probably need to get more involved with this so I can help my kids figure out what it means for them and their careers. So that was a year ago, and fast forward to today. And now I'm, like you said, teaching at university, some of the principles and mindset shifts that you need to be able to work with AI, and then in the business setting, doing similar type of work, but for businesses. So I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, no, it's yeah. I'm interested to go down the rabbit hole with you with some of these questions. I think listeners are going to be fascinated with. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to hear like your transition. I know you said you were doing like marketing, right? So I can attest to that as I'm still
Yeah.
knee deep in it, and how you transition to AI, right? Again, if you look at the general population and the consensus, it's like AI, it's going to replace me. AI is dangerous. All they do is you see all these memes or kind of correlates back to back when we were kids, Terminator.
Yeah.
The launch. When is that going to happen? Type of thing. So I know it could be scary for a lot of people. So I want to kind of just start firing off. You have a marketing entrepreneurial, background, so I think it's going to go hand in hand. Let's start with this. What inspired you, Daniel, to really embark in the world of running and operating a business, or being an entrepreneur?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've always just really liked helping people solve problems. I don't know. I also played a lot of sports growing up, so I've always been kind of a team player, particularly soccer. I grew up in Europe for a extended period of time, and I just like kind of being on a team and helping people solve problems, and I just enjoy that piece of it. And And through my career, I had been hired a number of times to start up demand generation and build those organizations and make the magic happen, if you will. And one thing led to the next, and I had people calling me on a regular basis asking how to do this or how to do that, or could I be a testimonial for this or a reference for that. And it just hit me one day that people keep calling me asking about this. Maybe I should just go out on my own and do it. So I kind of took the plunge, one part because of that, and one part because at that point in my career, I really just wanted to work on the projects I wanted to work on with the people I wanted to work with, and just do good work. So kind of mix that together, and I landed my first contract and quit my job, and off I went. So that's kind of how I got into it.
So now you said you grew up in Europe. Where
Yeah,
exactly?
in Germany.
In Germany, and then you played soccer. So a real football, I guess you could say, over there.
Yeah,
What position did you play?
mostly midfield. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then you played like what from like growing up in grade school to like college. Like how long did you
Yeah,
play?
pretty much. My dad was military, so we moved around a lot, and I was on whatever team I could get on. But yeah, pretty much my whole life, and played intramural in college, and then I actually coached a few seasons with my kids. So I did that a little bit, which was an experience, and I look for any chance to play I can, to be totally honest.
Oh, that wicked. That's pretty cool. So you still get out there today?
Not as much as I used to, but when I just was on vacation and they had soccer fields at the place we were staying, and we were out doing pickup games with the kids and other dads and stuff like that. So I still will play where I can, but I'm not like on a team or anything.
No, no. You gotta get it in where you can, right? Life
Yeah,
sometimes prevents us to do some things we would like to do.
sure.
Um, so yeah, no, that's interesting. So this is gonna segue into like my next question, right? Throughout your entrepreneurial journey, your small business ownership, right? Can you share any like pivotal moment where you potentially face like significant setbacks, and how did you go about overcoming those setbacks?
Yeah, I mean anybody who's been down the entrepreneurial path, or really any professional path, knows about setbacks, and sometimes things don't go the way you want them to go. And I think, I was reflecting on this ahead of this conversation, and I think the biggest lesson learned for me was really coming around to realizing that you can't do everything yourself. And I was employee number one, if you will, and over the course of a few years, we grew quite a bit. I think by the time I was done, we had something like 20, 25 people all up that were basically dedicated. So not huge, but some growth there. And it took me probably 2 years of really grinding before I really, really realized that it didn't really matter how much I worked or how hard I worked or how many hours I put in. You can't do it all, and you have to. It's a relay race, and you got to pass the baton. And I think I guess setback there was took me too long to learn that lesson. I mean, fortunately, I've learned the lesson and come a long way since then. But that was probably the big thing, and the result of that was just the burnout.